welcome back to Easy Thoughts. This is episode 4. Today is going to be the first of our special subject weeks. Planning on doing these once a month, and starting off with one of our easier ones. Obviously, one of us is a history student, one of us is a physics student, so we're going to probably do those two first. It's history this week, and we're going to do some kind of, I say history, it's like history themed, because we're going to be talking about stuff that hasn't actually happened. Yeah. We're going to be doing like kind of what if questions. So we
call it predictive history.
It's there is an actual word for it. It's like counterfactual history or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, what if? Shall I tell them our 3 questions, or are we gonna just kind of come to them as we go along? Do mad spoilers.
Oh no! The entire time you were saying all that, I had already itchy arse.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're contributing.
Yeah. Alright, go ahead. Tell the people.
Tell them what they are first. Yeah.
Yeah, so they know if they want to listen.
We've got yeah.
The answer's yes, by the way. You do want to listen.
So we've got 3 sorted out. We're gonna talk about what we think would happen. We obviously have no idea, really. What would happen if Britain never lost its 13 colonies in America? What we think would happen if the Industrial Revolution happened somewhere else, like China or who knows where.
Yeah.
We can come to that
Zimbabwe.
when we get there. Zimbabwe, yeah.
That'd be mental.
Somewhere weird like Fiji.
Fiji is just the heart of the world's industry. Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, and the third one is we're going to talk about what we think would have happened if the space race continued back then in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got any other notices?
We're on Spotify and iTunes still. Makes it easy to listen to, especially if you're on your morning commute, so to speak.
What about the evening commute?
Oh yeah, I forgot people come back from work. If you're on any sort of commute, I don't know. I feel if you're on your morning commute, it's better to listen to us because we will put you in a fantastic mood.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on your evening commute, but you might have had a bad day at work.
You might, yeah.
So whichever one of your commutes you're unhappiest on, you should listen to Easy Thoughts.
And that'll just make them even more unhappy on the other one. So listen on both.
Yeah. Because then you can really study what we say.
Yeah.
Sort of like, Jesus, people cared what he said. And us. Easy Thoughts.
Right.
Good. Where were we? So.
Should we just get into our numero uno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the English-speaking listeners, that's number 1.
So yeah, William, what do you think would have happened to the world, to the way history panned out, if the British Empire never lost its American colonies?
Now, that's a big question, that is. I have a lot of ideas. So I'm going to discuss first of all about, obviously, are we saying there's never been a civil war, or have we won? No, not a civil war. The war in America.
Independence War.
That one. It was there never one of them, or did we win it?
Let's just say it never happened.
Okay, so they're happy.
Yeah, they're happy.
Oh, that's nice. What has happened since then?
Quite a lot.
Well, there was obviously the World Wars, but before them.
Well, when was it? 1776, wasn't it? That was the Declaration of Independence.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that wouldn't have happened.
What?
Nick Cage would have stole the Declaration of Independence.
That film wouldn't exist.
Oh, well, I'm glad America got the independence.
National Treasures.
I love National Treasure. They are fantastic.
Nick Cage.
That's a really good point, actually. Media would be totally different. Obviously, we'd be the most powerful country.
Yeah.
The wars never would have gone on as long as they went on, because we would have just come in like...
Probably wouldn't have started.
Well, yeah, all that. Because, World War One started. If we ignore the whole being nice to Belgium thing, we were scared about the size of the German Empire, We wanted to go to war. So we never would have wanted to go to war, because if we had America, we wouldn't have been scared. Because we'd have had the biggest empire. Size is what it always comes down to. But it's not always important, Not in every...
What did you even just say? Size is always what it comes down to, but it's not always important.
Well, I was just, if there's any small listeners in any aspects of life,
Right.
that they don't need to worry.
Mm.
You know, that affects me, so... Nah, I'm kidding. Or am I? Who knows? Anyway, slightly off topic. So what do you reckon?
I'm intimidated by this question.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
Well, this is your thing, innit?
I mean, not really. This is just the opposite of my thing, because this hasn't actually happened.
Alright, so what has happened?
What has happened since then? So, the Americans obviously pushed out to the west, the Wild West and stuff, killed all the Native Americans, which, you know, you hate to see.
I imagine that still would have happened. We weren't exactly nice people.
Would we have done that? Probably. You know, any amount of things could have happened. We could have done it slower than they did, and like Mexicans could have come and grabbed a bit. Like Japan could have sailed over and grabbed a bit. You never know.
So you reckon that America would be smaller?
Possibly.
More split up?
Possibility.
Hmm.
Well, maybe not, because I think the British were pretty greedy, so they'd have been straight over there, spreading their wings.
And diseases.
And diseases, no, that happened much earlier.
Canada?
Canada,
Where did Canada come from?
What do you mean, where did it come from?
Well, like, they're not part of America, are they?
No.
So were they there before the United States?
Canada was like a little bit French, a little bit British, mostly British, and then British eventually managed. I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert. The British managed to take all of Canada. Yeah, it was like that until a date.
I like calendar.
I like calendar.
I like Canada. I've never been, but I'd love to go.
Yeah, I feel the same.
It's expensive though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We should start a GoFundMe.
Send
GoFund
those
Easy
to
Thoughts
Canada.
to Canada. To go to Canada.
Yeah, so we will have less ill-informed
Opinions
on Canada.
Which could be a horrible worse.
Because in this situation, Britain would have literally like all of North America.
I reckon we'd have gone to war with Mexico. What was actually there at the time? What was in Mexico at the time?
What do you mean, what was in Mexico?
Well, were Mexicans there?
Yes.
Was there lots of people there? Was it an established country?
I don't know when it was established.
That's what I mean. Like, the United States of America obviously wasn't an established country.
1776.
And it was a much different place to what it is nowadays.
Yeah. Mexico was founded in 1810. So...
Afterwards.
Yeah. Not long afterwards.
So, Mexico belongs to Britain now. Congrats.
Probably.
We'd have continued some sort of ridiculous expansion in South America.
Yeah, I reckon it'd have been a bit mental. Will have been. Well, then could that have ended in catastrophe? Would have we been too greedy?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because, like, from what I know, we already had a lot of what's the saying? I don't want to say it wrong. Fingers in pies? No.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Is that the thing? Yeah.
We
already had a lot of our fingers, many pies down in South America.
Brilliant.
We didn't, like, officially own any bits.
I know what you mean, though. I think I've read about this.
Like, helped out loads of them against the, like, Spanish
persecutors.
Imperial overlords.
Overlords is a good word, I like that.
And they liked us for it, but we never officially owned them.
Well, that's good.
But I feel like we didn't make an actual move on them because the USA existed.
So
there was a thing, what was it called? Monroe Doctrine? Maybe?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Where, like, the USA said to everyone else in the world, don't touch South America, or we'll have you.
Oh, a bit like when you're protecting a city-state on Civ.
Yes. So they did that, so everyone kind of kept their hands off. But if America doesn't exist, then...
It's ours. Well, if we are
free
America.
real estate.
Jesus. So, we've gone for a big land grab. We now...
It ends words.
Catastrophically.
Catastrophically is what I was looking for.
Does it, though?
Why?
Well, why would it? Why can't we...
It's just too much.
Is it, though? Because once you've convinced the people that this is a nice way of life, if we can get them to support us, then that'd be good.
Yeah.
I really don't think there'd have been wars like World War 1 and 2.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Probably not.
Like, the entire political landscape of the past 250 years would be completely different.
It would. It's kind of too much to talk about, really. Like, all the stuff in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Everything
about that.
would be different.
George Bush would never have been president.
America's just done too much to even begin to talk about what would be different.
Annoys me, that does.
But then would we have just done the same things anyway?
No.
Why?
Because I don't like the way America goes about its political business. So I'd like to think we wouldn't do that.
Well, they, like, saw themselves back in the day as
like,
the world police because they were so powerful. It was, like, kind of their responsibility. Would we not
and if
have
you
done
have
the same thing?
the ability to do something, you have the responsibility to do something. But all they've actually managed to do is make things a lot worse in a lot of different places.
So did
Maybe.
the British Empire.
I never said we didn't.
So
we would probably have done that as well, yeah. Would the League of Nations formed after
World War One?
Would UN, NATO.
League of Nations was like a precursor of the UN.
Would the UN exist then? Because what we're saying is there's no World War One because we're so powerful people don't want to start that. Therefore, does the UN form?
Who knows?
I don't think it would. So, we've got no World Wars, no UN. We're not really saying what would happen, we're more saying what's not happening.
Yeah.
We're acting as if it's going to be plain sailing.
No, definitely not.
I think Russia would... And that side of the world, there would be more...
More conflict?
Conflicts, yeah, we'll say conflict. I don't know if it's like straight up conflict, more confrontation maybe. Between the West and the East.
If there's no World War One, there's still a German Empire, there's still a Russian Empire, there's still the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
I'm not...
still an Ottoman Empire.
I think there would be a war, but I don't think we'd be involved.
I was thinking that, because obviously it started off with that assassination and everything, didn't it? So that still happened.
I think they'd still fight it out. And then the winner of that...
Maybe Germany wouldn't get involved. It would just maybe stick with the Austro-Hungarians and like Serbia and Russia. And then Germany would be like, well, if we get in there, Britain's coming, and we don't want that, do we? Because they own the entire world, and America, and South America, according to you.
Well, I
and
think...
Mexico, and Canada.
Yeah.
So
Germany stay out of the
war.
war.
So it wouldn't quite be a world war, it'd just be a major European war.
Which means Germany's probably going to be quite an economic powerhouse after that. Because if they stay out of it, they will sell weapons to people, as a large empire. They would sell weapons, they'd arm the people in that war, and make a lot of money out of it, I imagine.
Yep.
So then we'd have Germany as an economic powerhouse. Well, they are now.
Yeah, I mean, they always kind of had been, other than that little bit in between the wars. But that was our fault.
Yeah, sad. So Germany's big, Russia is big, and the British Empire is huge.
Ginormous.
The biggest the world's ever seen, moreover. Everyone lives happily ever after.
But does that mean that, like, the age of empires continues? Because obviously today...
There is no empire.
It was, like, after World War II, all the empires collapsed or decided to... Stop doing that.
I think the age of empires would have
But if
continued.
there's no World War II, they would still have all these big empires.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, really, is
I
it?
think we definitely still have our empire, which is not ideal, no. So...
Well, there's all these other little things as well, like the Cold War. I said little, not very little. The Cold War, like USA, doesn't exist.
No, yeah, but that's what when I said there'd be more confrontation between them two sides. I think that the Cold War would have been more dramatic.
Ooh.
Or more tense.
Who were the sides in the Cold War?
Were Russia getting involved in World War One in our world?
Yeah.
Like, they've won that, and everything that they've taken, and they are now huge. So Germany's economic, and Russia is massive. Where over here, France are just sort of like stuck in the middle, bless them. And then, yeah, I think Russia and England would now be at each other's throats.
So it'd just be Russia and England instead of Russia and America.
Yeah, but the landscape of Europe's totally different.
Who owns Hawaii?
No one.
Right.
Hawaii is a free spirit.
Free spirit.
Yeah.
That's where the Industrial Revolution starts.
Yeah, all this is happening, and then Industrial Revolution in Hawaii.
What about like Asia? We've been very Eurocentric. It was kind
Do
of.
Russia go down into China for a land
It
grab?
was kind of like the USA that modernised Japan as well. So if there's no USA, Japan's not this big industrial techie country. We have no Nintendo.
So no Mario.
No Nintendo. Sad times.
Oh dear.
Well, not for me because I don't like Nintendo. But we touched on that.
What about Sony? Aren't they a Japanese company? Or are they American?
I don't think they're American. I think maybe Japanese.
So
South Korean.
So maybe no PlayStation either.
Oh.
Xbox wins.
Well, would Microsoft exist though?
Well, I think probably people like Bill Gates would still be born.
You still get like other versions of all these big technology companies, wouldn't you? Just from a different
Definitely. Yeah.
motherland. So, we about done with that one?
I think so. I think we've come to a nice conclusion that there'd be three main powers in the world, which would be Britain in the west, Russia in the east, and Germany would be the third main power, I think, having stayed out of the wars and just growing their economy. So yeah.
Well, realistically, who knows? No one.
It's up for debate.
Literally no one knows.
Disagree.
It didn't happen.
If you disagree with anything we've said there, or you have a different idea as to what
your own version.
Yeah, give us your own version of events of what you think has happened.
Alright, what's next?
The Industrial Revolution one.
What happens if the Industrial Revolution happened elsewhere? First of all, we have to say where.
Middle East.
Middle East.
Israel.
Israel didn't exist then. At least not as Israel.
What was it?
Just like other countries.
Alright, moving on from Israel. I didn't know that,
Israel was like formed by us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why everyone gets so
to give the
upset.
Jews a homeland, and people didn't like that. But anyway. China?
Bit boring, really.
Yeah, it's a bit mainstream, isn't it?
They've sort of had theirs, haven't they? Just later on. Brazil.
Brazil.
Big country, a lot of people. No reason why it couldn't happen there.
Ugh.
So the Industrial Revolution is happening in Brazil. Now, what do you reckon?
Alright, but are we going with Portuguese owned Brazil or an independent Brazil?
Independent.
Oh yeah, because if it was Portuguese owned, it'd probably happen in Portugal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So an independent Brazil has the Industrial Revolution.
Go on then.
Go on then. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty standard question. I feel like whoever has it first is just going to become the dominant country, really. There's not really many different ways to go about it.
So the Industrial Revolution started in like the late 1700s.
Late 1700s, yeah.
Yeah, well, mid to late. We were definitely the dominant power because of it after that.
100%.
So Brazil are now the dominant power.
I don't know if Brazil were actually independent at this point, but we'll just say they were for the sake of this.
Yeah, for the sake of argument, we are saying Brazil are an independent country. I think everything would be a lot more exciting.
What do you mean?
Well, they do like carnivals and stuff, don't they? There. This could be really bad stereotyping, and if it is, I'm sorry. But to my understanding, Brazil is known for
ill-informed opinions. Well, it's fine.
That doesn't make stereotyping okay. It's my understanding that Brazil is known for its vibrant lifestyle and carnivals and stuff. I mean, obviously that's not everyone's lifestyle in Brazil, and there is quite a fair bit of poverty as well. But after an industrial revolution, you're going to assume that that would be sorted. So I think a lot of things would be a lot brighter, more vibrant. You know,
but why?
Well, because that's their take on things, isn't it?
But are you assuming that they're like taking over the world or something?
No, I mean,
to
like,
spread
so
this brightness?
products are more, colourful. Trains, for example.
Products are more colourful.
Like when, all right, you look at the trains that they were producing back, like in the Industrial Revolution era, and after it. They're all like black and stuff.
I feel like you probably had a fair few red ones.
Oh, red? Nah. Not in Brazil.
Right.
Blue, yellow, green.
Bloody hell.
All on the same locomotive.
They are really pushing the boat.
And the steam thing, goes, doot. It goes like, doot, 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 as it goes along the track.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Alright.
That's a whistle noise. Makes that. Don't know how. There you go.
Alright, okay.
So that's what happens. That's it, it's the end. Cut that, we're done. Park that idea. We've got colourful trains with jazzy horns.
Colourful trains. Right. Instead of like food being tinned in boring old silver tins, like rainbow cans.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
But that applies to like everything.
Everything that was ever made in a factory is now just colourful.
I mean, in no way am I saying this is a bad thing that I had. This is sounds awesome.
Right.
What are your points? You haven't said anything yet.
Well, I was going to be going along the lines of them becoming, the dominant economy and things.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
They would do. Oh my god, there'd be like a massive world carnival then.
Oh, that'll be good.
Because obviously, if you're the dominant economy, your culture influences a lot of the world.
Like we had the great exhibits, or whatever they were called. I don't know what they were called.
Great exhibitions.
World fairs.
But yeah, stuff like that. So Brazil would do that, but they do it on. That'd be next level. Instead of it being like a glass building,
just on the beach.
It'd be paraded down the streets.
The Copacabana.
Brilliant, thanks. So yeah, I think Brazil. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sad that it didn't happen in Brazil now.
Yeah, I reckon they'd probably kind of not necessarily take over, but with the other South American countries, they'd form a nice little union, like Europe does eventually. I reckon that could happen down there because they'd all be mega wealthy and be like, let's cooperate.
What does that lead to with America though? Would there then be a war between South America and North America? Why does everything end in war?
Everything ends in war.
Seems to be the human way, and that's a real shame.
And I don't know. Obviously they've got a lot of wood. A lot of oil in...
The Amazon. We haven't even thought of that. The Amazon just wouldn't exist now.
Oh, there'd be deforestation on...
Because back then, there'd be less people to object to it.
Yeah.
And they'd just be like, right, burn
they'd
it.
just cut down all the trees.
Just burn it. Burn the Amazon.
They wouldn't even necessarily need coal to power the factories and stuff because they just have so much wood. So, rip Amazon.
Which means the company might not be called it.
So, yeah. Now instead of Amazon Prime, you've got Nile Prime.
Nile Prime. Or Tiber Prime.
The Tiber Prime. The Ganges
Prime.
Order now for next day delivery with Ganges Prime.
Ganges Prime. Brilliant. And that has happened because they cut down the Amazon rainforest and built dams on the river.
So we have huge sadness with the loss of trees, but we have colourful products at the end of it. So colourful.
Yeah. I think that is. It just sounds wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wunderbar.
So yeah, instead of Europe being the
thing,
the thing everyone talks about, it'd be South America, wouldn't it? Because obviously all the...
You'd still have Brexit though. It'd be Brazil.
Wow.
Oh, I am hilarious. Checks it as chili leaves.
Checks it.
Falklands War would have gone a lot differently.
Yeah, definitely. Would have been
lost.
Mugged off.
Yeah. It wouldn't have even happened. We would have been like, nah, you're alright, you can have that.
Yeah, just take it. Just take it, mate. We don't want to mess with the South American Union.
The SAA, the South American Alliance.
Yeah.
That
sounds much cooler. Saw, dude.
Yeah, South American Alliance has formed. Woo. completely different sort of thing. Would Europe be?
Are we just like in massive poverty?
Yeah, will we now
Europe?
be like third world countries, or because we were relatively rich before all this, weren't we? Before the Industrial Revolution, anyway.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
the expense of South America and the Caribbean and Africa.
So we won't be like third world, developing, whatever it's called nowadays.
We'd be like, I reckon the entirety of Europe would just be like Scandinavia.
Like Scandinavia. Yeah, maybe.
Not massive like super economies, but they're very good at what they do.
Peaceful.
Peaceful. They make the money they need. The people are happy because they're all eating beans out of a green, yellow, and blue can.
There's no like heavy industry, which means there's no war, probably.
Yeah, we all just sit back.
But then, what if we get like colonized by the Brazilians? What if literally the only thing that happens is the world flips from being like Eurocentric to South American centric, and they just colonize us instead?
Before the Industrial Revolution, haven't we already?
Yeah, you're not wrong. That had already started anyway.
So I think we'd be alright.
Would they want revenge? Would they come back for us?
With brightly coloured
brightly coloured machine guns.
Maybe.
Like Red Tiger camo from COD.
Red Tiger.
Oh,
wow.
This is just...
I like the image in my head of what the world is like.
Yeah.
Britain is now... All of Europe's like Scandinavia and just chilled out and really great. Everything's colourful. And there's something called the South American Alliance, which is world police. And Britain just doesn't get involved.
Yeah. But America would still be this big thing. Like, America's more powerful than, like, most of Europe. So I imagine it would be more powerful than the South American Alliance as well.
Yeah, but imagine them working together.
Oh, what if it became the American Alliance?
American Alliance. Oh no, you can't have that because the AA would be annoyed. You'd just be like, no, that's ours. We fix cars.
Copyright.
Get out.
What?
Oof. So yeah, American Alliance is the end game, I guess. Europe is like Scandinavia. I think Africa would probably just stay the same.
Probably.
They'd probably still just get persecuted.
Yeah, just by South Americans instead.
It's closer, isn't it? No.
I mean, Brazil, probably.
It's a big ocean. But... So yeah, that's what's happening. Not bad, I reckon. Not bad.
No, I don't think much will change. So yeah.
So, this is your question, really.
Yeah, the third question we have on the cards. What would happen if the space race continued? Now, Will is not a fan of this question.
We disagree massively on this.
I mean, I haven't actually said.
Okay, well, I think not a right lot would happen. I think things would be very similar. But what do you think? I'm assuming you're going to come up with a different angle here.
Like, expand on yours first.
Well, so the way I see it is for any real changes to have happened to do with space exploration, human sort of like the ability for humans to travel, so the technology needed is too advanced to what we have already. And even if the space race had continued, yes, technological advancement would have happened quicker. I still don't think they would have happened at a rate necessary to do anything that NASA had planned. So, for example, NASA had this thing called the Integrated Space Plan, where they wanted like a lunar base, and then I think by like 2018 they wanted to have a base on Mars. I can just check that if we need to. So 2018 we have second generation reusable spacecraft, economic and industrial activity in space, human expansion into the inner solar system has begun, and there is a biplanetary civilization.
When did they come up with this plan?
1989. So Boeing bought them in the end. So yeah, company in America, 1989, come up with a big plan as to what they wanted, and they wanted all these things going in space, moon bases, Mars bases, human expansion into the inner solar system, economic and industrial activities being going on in space, and that was by 2018. Right now, the technology is not available for that to be happening. And I don't see how, even if the space race had continued, that the technology would have advanced enough for that to happen.
I mean, have you not seen The Martian?
He grew potatoes. That's a great film, though.
It is. A very good film.
But yeah, I just don't see what difference it'd make.
Alright.
Do you have any?
I mean, obviously I don't know a right lot about
Yeah, I get that. What
space and stuff.
What do you want it to have
But
done?
you got to think about it could have had impacts on stuff going on in the world as well. Like, it could have somehow created many jobs and stopped some country having an economic crash or something like that.
You got a specific country in mind?
Yeah,
there?
no, just some country. Don't know which one. Because, don't know, like, if they made some big space centre port thing in like Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan's absolutely balling from it, that could change everything, that, couldn't it?
Why would they make it in Kazakhstan?
Well, that's why the Russians used to launch their rockets.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it something to do with because it's like closer to the equator, so it's like. Don't ask me. I don't do physics.
Yeah, I do. I don't know anything about it. I do astrophysics.
I'm sure it's something to do with being closer to the equator. So, would it have encouraged more cooperation between nations?
I did think that. I was thinking maybe Russia and America would work together. Was the Cold War before or after or during?
It was. Yeah, the space race was like part of the Cold War. Would we have seen weapons in space? Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. It would have been like, right, I've got a nuclear missile in space now, what are you going to do? Way.
If we were still just generally messing about in space, what would we be doing?
Well, we'd have a moon base.
Yeah, I was going to say a moon base I could see. Wasn't that meant to be by 2020, a moon base?
Yeah, well, they've said all this, but...
At some point.
Yeah. I just don't see the need for human exploration in space at the minute. I think it's dead interesting, but I think it costs a lot of money to do anything in space. Like, we've just sent that thing to Mars,
Yeah.
and everyone's making a big hoo-ha out of it. Realistically, what is that going to achieve?
Not a lot.
And it's cost how much?
A lot.
Let's say, instead of spending that sort of money, instead of spending money like that on space exploration, why don't we spend it on making nuclear fusion a viable source of energy? Because then we have clean energy forever, essentially, and that would really help combat climate change.
Nuclear fusion will be pretty helpful in space exploration.
And it probably
as well.
would, yeah. 'Cause you'd probably use it to make your things go fast. So I just don't see the value in space exploration, and I also don't see how technology could have kept up with the demands of the human race. So I therefore think that the space race had to fail. Or not fail, but had to stop.
Why did it stop?
America won.
Did they?
Put a man on the moon.
Why is that winning?
What else? What more can you do at that time?
I saw a thing not long ago that was like compared what Russia and America did, and like Russia did like everything first, other than the man on the moon. Why does the man on the moon make them win?
Because that's
it's pretty
saying,
irrelevant.
Alright, so like, you know, you're on a 100-metre race, one sprinter wins the first 90 metres, but the person in second just pips you at the final
Why
thing.
was the man on the moon the finishing point then?
That's just dead impressive.
Why not something more useful, like a base on the moon? That would have been a good finishing point.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's another question, really.
There you go.
What?
But it stopped and was won by America when they landed.
Like,
on the
if
moon.
I'm a Russian space dude, I'm watching the news and it's like, oh yeah, America's just landed on the moon. I'm not then, but like,
In
right,
1975, they teamed up.
just like, right, I'm packing it in then. They've landed on the moon. I'll quit. See you later.
Well, in
You carry on.
1975, they worked together.
Right. Well, obviously, because the
The
space
joint-
station is.
Apollo Soyuz mission sent 3 US astronauts into space aboard an Apollo spacecraft that docked in orbit with a Soviet-made Soyuz vehicle.
Would we have like better space stations?
What do you mean better?
I don't know. Like
What does better space stations mean?
doing big. That's me.
Doing what?
Like, obviously, because now we only have the ISS, and then there's a Chinese one.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Is there any more?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Like, would we have, like, big-ass space stations that could, like, dock spaceships in them and stuff?
Oh, you mean so like Star Wars style big things?
I guess. Would we have a Death Star? Yes. America would definitely have made one of them. And it would cost billions.
Billions,
Billions,
billions, billions, billions, billions. I don't know. I don't see why that's. There's no point to it.
Yeah, it's not important.
It's pointless.
I'm just saying.
A waste of money and resources.
But you could argue that even the space station is.
I think the space station's like a happy medium for everyone. It's nice that we're doing things in space, and it has led to many great inventions.
But then further space exploration could have also done that.
Yeah, I know. Like the Parker pen.
Yeah.
That's my favourite thing about the entire space race, is the Americans spent lots of money developing a pen that could work in no gravity, and Russia just used a pencil.
But is that what the Parker pen was? Or did you say Parker pen?
The Parker pen is invented because of the space race,
Was that the space race one, the Parker pen?
I thought that's what it was. I'm now going to check on that, but that's what I was told by someone.
I didn't know it was the Parker pen.
The result, the Fisher space pen, not the Parker pen. I apologise, but that's not true. What I said is not true.
Is it not?
The urban legend is
Is
not
that
true.
not true?
The Fisher space pen was developed independently by a private organisation, not by NASA. So there you go. It's not a Parker pen. It's a Fisher space pen,
And it didn't matter.
and it didn't matter anyway. So yeah,
If you learn anything from this episode, it's that famous myth
is actually a
about
myth.
the Russians just using a pencil.
Although they did use a pencil,
Well,
though.
yeah, but about the Americans going out of the way to earn a space pen is a lie.
Yeah, it had been used for writing by NASA with the wood pencil from the start.
Damn.
There you go.
Right then, so what we concluded from this question?
Not a
You're
lot.
saying not a lot. I'm saying I would hope for some international
Fun stuff.
cooperation. But yeah, not a lot, I guess. Weapons in space, definitely.
Yeah, I think weapons in space is pretty much the end game for me as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, space weapons, scary death lasers, and maybe some new funky technology is what has come out of that. So this brings us to the end of our delightful journey into what would happen if things throughout history
It's a
didn't
counterfactual history.
Counterfactual history. So next week's topic will be the effect that social media has had on our society. Bit of an interesting one. I'm looking forward
In
to
our opinions.
in our opinions. This is obviously, again, not factual. Please do not take it as gospel. And if you disagree with anything we have said throughout the past 40 minutes or so, or in fact in any of our episodes for that matter, please do comment. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye. Hello everyone and welcome. Why? You're fucking shaking your arms.
Sorry.
We're going to talk about what we think would happen if the industrial heavy there.
What was that? Wow. Try again. So the initial 7. Blah 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 blah. Whoop.